What is up, my god gamers? In today's video, I'll be doing a guide to every single augment in TFT Set 9. I'm basing this information off of my experience as a multi-set challenger player, as well as I played about 100 games on the PvE test server. Now, one thing I do want to say before we get into it is there's a lot of augments. So some of these I legit might be reading for the very first time, but I'll take you guys through this. This guide is designed to show you when is the best circumstances to take this augment and then kind of how to play it out after you take it. This is not a video about what are the strongest augments, because I don't think that is helpful, because that is very meta dependent and all that good stuff. So the last thing I'll say, some of the trait specific augments, I'll pretty much just skip over because there's not really much to talk about. You know, there's like a Swain augment that really buffs Swain, so take it if you play Swain. There's not really much to talk about. I feel like I had one more thing to say to preface this, but I'll figure it out. Let's get into it. All right, first one we have up is AFK, and this is a legend-based augment. I believe this is Thomas Kinch's. If you guys would like to know more about legends, I have a video separate just about legends. I'll leave in the end card of today's video, so make sure you check that out, or you can just go to my channel. It's on the list of guides. All right, so AFK, you cannot perform actions for the next 3 rounds. Afterwards, gain 18 gold. This is a very strong augment. I think it's one of the best augments in the game. That's why so many people want to play Thomas Kinch. So yeah, take this if you're really comfortable playing a weak early game, playing a loose streak style, and you're really good at playing with an econ advantage. You're probably going to have to roll on stage 3 or go fast 7 to stage 4. So that is the playstyle you'll need to play if you take this. Okay, all natural. Your units with no items equipped gain 75 health and heal for 3% of their max health each second. So take this if you don't have a lot of item slam, especially on your front line, because it's heal their max health. So it's better on frontline units if you don't have a lot of items slammed. Okay, army building. Gain a lesser champion duplicator. This happens a second time after 8-player combat. So there's pretty much 2 ways you can play out using this augment. So you can use it to get an early spike in the game. So like if you want to get an early like 2-star Warwick, like which would be so powerful for your board, right? So you can use that, get that, and then make your board additionally powerful again. The other way you can choose to play this, because what a lesser champion duplicator does is it can make a copy of a 1 through 3 cost. The other way you can play this, I think this is the more powerful way to play this, if you intend on playing a reroll 2 or 3 cost build. So if you're playing like reroll juggernauts, and you know you can pretty much guarantee you're going to hit your Garen 3 or your Darius 3 if you have 2 lesser champion duplicators. So you just save it for that. Okay, that one's a heart. Blood money, gain 1 gold for 3 health. Your tactician loses. So this is going to be really good if you're comfortable playing a loose streak style. So if you want to lose the early game, lose the mid game, you can gain a lot of gold and then spike with a very strong board. So if you want to play loose streak and you're really good at playing with an econ advantage, and take this one out. Branching out, legend, a random, I believe this is Earth's, gain a random emblem and a reforger. Take this if you want to play Earth and you like playing around emblems, guys. This can be really good if you're playing strict verticals like a 6 Sork. A lot of strict verticals have a threshold you can pass over that makes them very powerful. For example, Sorks, if you hit that 6 Sork threshold, your abilities now spread to 2 units rather than 1, the Sork synergy. So that is a very powerful threshold, and it saves you from having to play like fucking Malzahar or some bullshit. So it can be really good if you intend on playing a vertical style, or you just like playing around emblems and you want to do that. Okay, bronze ticket. Every 5 shop refreshes, gain a free refresh. This is most effective if you're going to be playing a reroll composition, so 1, 2, 3 cost reroll composition. But generally, this can be fine to take. I don't really like this augment when I'm playing flex. I think it's more suited for reroll style. Cool. Buried treasures. Legend. This is Ezreal's legend. That's the legend that I play. At the start of the next 2 rounds, gain a random item component. So this is really effective if you are comfortable slamming a lot of items in the early game, or if the items you were offered in the early game aren't very good for the units you've been offered. Then you can take this to get better items and more suit your board. I usually use this to just play super aggressive, because I'm a very big flex Andy, play strongest board type of player. Cool. All right, component buffet. Whenever you would get a random component, instead gain a component anvil. So this is especially effective if you need if the build you intend to play, or the build you're currently playing, needs near guaranteed items. So for example, if you want to play the reroll Garen build and you want to do the 6 Zeke's tech, this can be more effective. This can be pretty effective in that, because you can almost guarantee that you can get the item components that you need, because anvils, you get to choose from 3 or 4 items there. Cool. Cybernetic Bulk, your champions holding an item gain 200 health. So this is going to be especially effective. All the cybernetics are going to be really good if you have a lot of items. So if you like play in the Ezreal style and you're getting extra items, taking cybernetics is really good. Or if you just have a lot of items already slam, these are pretty effective. Usually are really good in the early game as well, except for especially things like Cybernetic Bulk. Okay, Cybernetic Leech, your units holding an item gain 80 health and 15% Omnivamp. Same idea as the other one, except for this one is a little bit better if you are, you didn't build healing on, you're playing like Lux and you didn't build any healing on her, and then you get this offered. Well, that's going to feel really good, right? Because now you have healing and you have 3 damage items on your carry. You didn't have to build a healing item. Feels very, very, very good. Oh, I remember the last thing I was going to say. All these ones that have a 1 by them, I will not talk about them at 2 and 3 because they're the same augment. They're just more powerful. Okay, and now we have Harm Assist down here. Your units heal for 10% of the damage they deal. They convert 50% of excess healing to magic damage on their next attack. Same idea. I pretty much just take this if I don't have any healing built into my comp, and I can get some healing on my backline carry. It can feel very nice. Healing Orbs. When an enemy dies near the nearest allied unit is healed for 300. Same idea as the other healing augments, although this one's a little bit different. I think it's slightly more effective if you're playing a frontline DPS. Let's say you're playing Urgot or Yasuo carry, something like that. Then it's really nice because they will actually heal themselves because they will be the nearest ally unit because they're in melee range, right? So that's really nice. That doesn't mean you can't use it when you're playing backline carries. If you're playing like a Zeri or Aphelios carry, whatever, that will help you buy time for your team because when Aphelios kills units, it'll heal your frontline, which is nice, but it's a little bit better if you're playing a frontline carry. Okay, Iron Assets, gain a component anvil and 2 gold. Generally just a fine augment to take. Take it if you'd like. Not much more to say about it. Jackpot, after you refresh your shop 40 times, gain a copy of each tier 5 unit. So this is going to be most effective if you are re-rolling a 1-cost build. You can take it in any scenario really, but it's going to be best re-rolling a 1-cost unit. So keep in mind, you will you will have to you need 80 gold to roll. You need 80 gold to roll, but you also have to buy the units that you're rolling for. So you really need like 100 gold before you go for this. So you're probably going to have to be very weak before going for this, or slow rolling into when you're close enough to just full roll down for that. So just keep in mind, you need a lot of gold to hit this, but you do get a lot of gold return. So if you're playing like, I don't know, reroll Sharimans or something, and you really want that Cassante, right? You really want that Cassante and Rise, you get the Invoker and Cassante, right? Then you'll hit that, and you'll additionally get all the gold that is left over from you're able to sell the other legendaries. You don't have to use all the legendaries, of course, right? So best if you're running a 1-cost reroll build, but just keep in mind, it's a little bit risque. Jeweled Lotus, combat start, your strongest units gain 50% critical strike chance, and their spells can critically strike. This one's fine to take. This is Vigar's legend. It's fine to take in general. I think it's slightly better on AP units because their base values on their spells are very high. So if you like taking it, I don't really like this augment that much typically, unless I'm playing like AP and I built like just a lot of just flat AP, or I have a lot of Q cones, that sort of thing. Okay, Leighton Forge, this is Ornn's legend. Gain an Ornn item anvil after 7-player combats. Very cool. You'll get an Ornn item. This is just fine to take. Take it if you like taking it. Just keep in mind that you'll be down at Augment for 7 rounds. Okay, long distance pals. At the start of combat, your 2 furthest champions share 20% of their armor, 20% of all their stats, basically, except for AD, it looks like here. So this one is one that's generally fine to take, and the way that you use it is you put your 3-item carry on one side, your 3-item tank on the other side. Very cool. All right. Misconnections. Gain a copy of each tier 1 champion. Take this if you want. This can be helpful, especially if you have like a lot of pairs. Then you can like 2-star all your, like you have a lot of 1-cost pairs. You can 2-star your pairs, give you really good direction, gives you a lot of gold injection. So just take it if you like. Okay, on a roll, whenever you 2-star a unit, gain a free reroll. This is going to be most effective if you are rerolling 1-cost builds because they're very cheap. You're going to roll a lot. You're going to hit a lot of 2-stars. And while you're rolling for 1-cost, you can just make 1-cost 2-stars that you don't even want to play. So let's say you're playing, I don't know, reroll reroll invokers or something, or reroll Shurimas, right? And so you're looking for like Renekton and Snake Lady, right? You're rolling for that. Well, if you just hit Tristanas, you can just 2-star Tristana and then sell it. You know, there's no cost, because one costs, they combine for 3 and they sell for 3. So that's a very effective way to use it. Okay, 1, 2, 5. Gain 1 random item component, 2 gold, and 1 random tier 5 unit. This can only be offered at stage 4, I believe. Maybe it can be offered at stage 3, but you definitely can't be offered it on stage 2. Take it if you want, man. Especially if you feel like your board can support a lot of 5 costs, or if the meta is very 5 cost focused, then take this. It can be very good. But sometimes the meta is not 5 cost focused. All right, 1, 2, and 3s. Gain 1 tier 1 unit, gain 2 tier 2 units, and gain 1 tier 3 unit. I believe this is offered as a legend at stage 2-1. I don't remember whose legend this is. Take it if you want, guys. There's not really much else to say about it, but you'll want to play around these units. You can take it, you can sell them, make some econ. Take it if you want. Pandora's Bench, gain 2 gold. At the start of every round, champions at the 3 rightmost bench slots transform into random champions of the same cost. I don't like this augment. I hate this augment. It just makes me dizzy, and I don't like using it. It's very effective when you're re-rolling. You can use it in other ways. You can use it to get powerful units for your board if you're just not hitting them in your rolls. But usually the way people use this is if they're re-rolling high-cost units is the most effective way, but you can also use it to hit your like 3-cost re-rolls and that sort of thing. What a lot of people do whenever they use this, they'll 2-star a unit and then put it on the bench. So like, let's say you're looking for re-roll Garen, or reroll Juggernauts in general, right? So you're looking for a lot of 3-cost units, which is cool. That'd be a pretty good build to do it in. Then maybe you put a 3-star Sona. Maybe you're not going to play Sona on your board. You put a 3-star Sona, or 2-star Sona, sorry, 2-star Sona on the spot on your bench, and you hope it rolls into a 2-star Garen or a 2-star Young Dario, and that can get you very close to your thing. So it's usually good if you reroll. I just don't like this augment. Okay, Pandora's items. This is TF's legend. Gain a random component at the start of each round. Items on your bench are randomized. So this is going to be very effective if you need guaranteed items for a build. This is especially effective if you're trying to force. So let's say you're trying to force that Garen Zeke's build, right? Then you can guarantee you'll get the Zeke's. So that is very nice for that. Also, you can just use this item if the patch is not very well balanced, or the game is not very well balanced, and there's a particular item that is very powerful. Rage Blade. Rage Blade is the best item in the game. You can guarantee you get the best item in the game every single game. So that's really nice. And that can help you get some legends. Pumping up 1, this is Master Yi's legend. Your units gain 5 attack speed. Each round this increases by 0.5%. This is going to be, you can take this whenever. Attack speed is always good, but it's going to be most effective if you intend on playing an AD carry like a Aphelios Zeri, that sort of thing. It can save you from having to build a Rage Blade, which is the best item in the game. Very cool. All right, Recombobulator. Champions on your board permanently transform into random champions 1 tier higher. Gain 2 magnetic removers. You can take this whenever you'd like. It's really effective whenever you have 2-star units, because you are going to upgrade the power of your board probably, no matter what, and you'll get a lot of gold return off of 2-star units being upgraded. Especially effective if you have a 2-star 3 cost, because that is a 2-star 4 cost you're going to get, or if you have a 4 cost on your board. You get lucky, you get an early 4 cost, because that'll transform into a legendary. Those are the best times to use it, when you have a 2-star 3 cost or you have a 4 cost on your board, because you'll get the 2-star 4 cost and a legendary. Be a very powerful injection. I got to take a drink, man. Oh, yeah, baby. All right. Red buff. Your units' attacks burn their targets for 8% of their maximum health over 8 seconds. Reduce the target's healing by 50%. Just ignore the first part of it. That's probably going to be good. But just the main point of this augment is it gives you free healing reduction, so you don't have to build healing reduction in your build, and you don't have to play Teemo or whatever to get this. Risky moves. I first saw this augment for the first time last night. It sounds broken. Now, I think the numbers are a little bit different here, but it says your tactician loses 20 health, but after 7-player combats, you gain 40 gold. I think these numbers are changed. I think it's like 30 gold now, but like, my God. So if you feel comfortable playing with an econ advantage, take this. This might be the best augment in the game. Like, holy shit. It's crazy. This is broken. Okay, anyways. All right, Silver Spoon, gain 12 XP. Take it if you want some XP, man. Just think about this. It says, just think about it this way. Gain 12 gold. That's what you want, then take it. Okay, social distancing. Units that begin combat with no adjacent allies gain 15% attack, damage, and ability power. This is good, generally good. Just don't take it if you intend on building a Zeke's or a Yukon. Okay, Spoils of War, Legend. When you kill a unit, there's a 25% chance to drop loot. This is Draven's Legend. So whenever you take this, I don't think this augment's good. I think it sucks. Unless you're in low elo, this can be good because no one knows how to play early game. But if you take this augment, you want to try to play very aggressivo, play very aggressive, because the more aggressive you play, the more return you'll be able to get back. You don't want to play a weak early game or play a weak board. Don't take this if you don't have a weak. Do not take this if you have a weak opener. So don't do that. Okay. Tiny Titans, your tactician heals 30 health. This is the Pingu. This is the beginner one, yeah. Your tactician heals 30 health, grows larger, and has a maximum of 130 health. So the best times to take this augment are, 1, if you're a beginner and you just want to play with a lot of health and that makes you feel safe. Very cool. The other times you want to take this is if you already have good items. Like, let's say you know, like the best item in the game is Rage Blade. Let's say you already have Rage Blade. And you have a good tank item, or you have an additional carry item already built. You have like Rage Blade Jeweled Gauntlet. That's very good direction. You're probably playing Kai'Sa this game, right? Or you're playing Kai'Sa or Azir probably this game. So you already have the direction of your items, and you can take this because you don't have to worry about getting your items from the carousel. The other time this is good to take is if the meta is very flex. Like if the meta is pretty balanced and there's not like items that are super, super OP and you're comfortable playing around tank items or very flexible carry items like Guard Breaker, that sort of thing, items you can play in any board, then Tiny Titans can also be good in that situation. Okay, Transfusion. This is Vlad's augment. Your units, your team gains 60 health plus 2 health per missing tactician health. And this does scale throughout the game. So it's not like your current tactician health. This will continue to scale throughout the game. This is generally fine to take. A lot of people like this augment. Gives you decent power. Generally fine. Okay, Unburdened. Your units without items equipped gain 35% attack speed. So again, if you don't have a lot of items slammed, this can be good to take. Or if you don't intend on taking augments that give you extra items, very cool. Unifying Resistance. Combat start your units that share a row with at least 2 other units, so that you need to have 3 units on each row. That's a little confusing the way they worded it. Gain 25 armor and magic resist. So this is pretty good in pretty much every build. It's a little bit better the later you take it on the game because it's easier to position. Because like once you're level 6, you can do 3 in the front, 3 in the back, right? But earlier on in the game, it's a little bit harder to manage this. You have to put everybody in the same row. It's a little awkward. So Young, Wild, and Free, you can always move freely on carousel rounds. I've never seen anyone take this, and I've never seen this, but so I don't think it's good, but it can guarantee you get the best option from every carousel. So that can be good, but I don't know, man. All right, let's go on to tier 2. Gotta drink some of my tea, man. Oh yeah, baby. All right, a cut above, gain a Death Blade. Champions with a Death Blade have a 50% chance to drop 1 gold on kill. It's going to be better the earlier you take it on in the game because, again, the gold drop, gold is more powerful earlier in the game. 50% chance. Pretty good. So this is going to be more effective if you already have a Deathblade Slam and you intend on playing dual AD carries in your backline. That's going to be better. Or, you know, if you just need a Deathblade that's going to spike your board really hard, cool, take it. Adrenaline Rush. Okay, that's a Juggernaut specific one. Play if you're playing Juggernauts. All Natural, we already talked about that one. All that shimmers is gold. Gain a Shimmer Scale item armory that offers 2 options. Shimmer Scale items aid gold generation. So this is better the earlier you take it on in the game. I think it is only offered early on in the game. And you're going to have to play around the Shimmer Scale items. So if you don't know the Shimmer Scale items, learn the Shimmer Scale items. They're from set 7. They're old items, and they give you a lot of gold, and they're usually quite powerful. It's very similar to taking an Ornn thing, so just take it if you want, and you want to have some extra gold generation. But sometimes you don't get a lot of power when you take the items. Sometimes you do. Like, for example, an item like Determined Investor doesn't give you a lot of immediate power, but it turns into Diamond Hands, which is like the best one. An item like Draven's Axe doesn't give you a lot of power early on, but the reward for using it is very powerful. You know, and there's some other items that are more powerful immediately when you use them. So just keep that in mind. Very similar to Ornn items. Okay, so not going to talk about these ones. Built Diff. Your units with no traits active gain health and attack speed. So if you played past sets, it's the same as it's always been. If you've never played past sets, when you take Built Different, the way you typically play it out is you play around 2-starred units and you don't make your synergies active. So you just want to play powerful 2-star units. I don't know the Built Diff board. There's always like a Built Diff board, an optimized Built Diff board that comes out. But for example, like a unit that would be very good with this would be someone like Aphelios. You want to think about units that that their traits are not like make or break for them. So like Aphelios is Deadeye. Deadeye's kind of whatever. Deadeye can be good, but it's kind of also just not necessary for your Aphelios to carry. And Targon is completely unnecessary for Aphelios. It's just something nice. So Aphelios would be a good option to play as a carry with this. And you play Aphelios and a Zeri on the same board with none of their traits active, and you could duo carry these dual very powerful AD carries, right? Have a Kaisa on there with some, think about units that don't need their traits active and are very effective with attack speed. And you'll be in a good spot. Okay, Buried Treasures. We already talked about this. This is Ezreal's Augment. Capricious Forge. Gain a Blacksmith's Gloves, which equip 2 temporary worn artifacts each round. This Augment is generally very good. You get 2 random worn artifacts. Just think about that. But it's more effective if you're playing a board where you have units that will have a lot of synergies active on them, but you don't have items for them. So, for example, if you're playing like a Juggernaut board and you're playing Garen carry, but you end up having a random 3-star Warwick or Darius and you have no items slammed on them, then taking this can be very, very, very effective for this board. So generally this is going to be good, but it's more effective if you have a powerful unit that has a lot of traits active, but you don't have items for them. Okay, Chemtech enhancements. Your Chem mod. Okay, that's just Zon. Okay, Combat Caster. When one of your units casts their spell, they gain a health shield for 3 seconds. So take this if you have units that will cast very often, especially frontline units that will cast very often, because that is going to be a little bit more effective. But it's still going to be good for backline, because once you get to end game, a lot of units have backline access. You'll find that your backline units are just getting damaged throughout the fight and can die before your frontline units sometimes. I think this is especially good if you're playing vertical invokers, because invokers are just casting like crazy, and so you can get a really fat shield. I've tried this a couple times in invokers, so it's pretty good. Okay, Contagion. At the start of combat, the highest health unit is afflicted with Contagion, which increases their damage taken by 20%. On death, the Contagion spreads to the nearest enemies. Contagion can stack. I've tried this out a few times. It's really hard to gauge what it's even doing, how effective it is, because there's no damage stats on it whenever you look at it. So this one is good if the lobby is really tanky. If a lot of people are playing super tanks, they're playing like a Giga Stack Sedge and stuff like that. It's going to be a little bit better later on in the game. It's going to be more effective than when everyone is actually running a Giga Stack tank. A lot of times in the early game, people just don't even build tank items, and they only build backline items. So it's going to be a little bit less effective early on in the game. But this is going to be really good if you feel like your board just needs extra damage added onto it, and you're having tough times killing tanks. It can be very good. Okay, we already talked about those. All right, now we're on to Dedication. The first time you field at least 5 distinct units of the same trait in a player combat, gain an emblem for that trait. So this is going to be really good if you're playing a vertical. Now, there's other ways you can use it. So like what I mean by vertical, I didn't explain this earlier, but what I mean by vertical, if you go from like 2 Sorks and you plan on playing 6 Sorks, you just keep stacking the Sorks, right? It's going to be more effective if you're playing that. Now, if you want to get a little, if you want to finesse it a little bit, it doesn't have to be that way. You can just put the units on your board, play one round. Like, let's say you're playing, I don't know, Juggernauts, and you don't even want to play vertical Juggernauts. You just want that emblem for the second Juggernaut. Well, just put 4 Juggernauts on your, oh, wait, you have to have 5 distinct units. So, okay, let's do the Sork example. That's easier. You put the 5 Sorks on your board, and maybe you only want to play 2 Sorks anyways. You can just get it and then dip out of your vertical. But it's best if you intend on playing the vertical. That's just easier way to do it. Okay, Defensive Dash. Combat starts on take. That's a Challenger one. Okay, this is the Swain one. I played this one last night. Guys, check it out. My Raid Boss Swain build. This was really fun. So check it out if you guys want to see that. I have a whole VOD on the channel. Double Trouble. When you field exactly 2 copies of a champion, they both gain a bunch of stats. When you 3-star, gain a 2-star copy. So this is going to be most effective if you are re-rolling units, and you have like, it's always going to be effective if you're re-rolling, but especially if you don't have to meet certain synergy thresholds to make like a big spike. So for example, like if you don't need 4 Juggernauts, if like 4 Juggernaut is unnecessary to the Juggernaut reroll, then you can just reroll like Garen and Darius and then have an additional Garen and Darius just at 2 Juggernaut, right? So just consider that whenever you're doing it, but it's best if you're rerolling. You don't have to reroll. You know, you could get to in-game play Aphelios and just have 2 Aphelioses on your board. You know, 2 Aphelios, 2 on your board. And they're going to be really strong. You can itemize both of them. Can be very cool. So best if you're rerolling, but can be used in other circumstances. Okay. Early education. Your units permanently gain 1 ability power when they kill a unit. Champions start with 10 bonus ability power. This is going to be most effective if you intend on rerolling the units that are on your board. So if you want to reroll like early game invokers and you have a Cassio and Soraka on your board and that's what you're going to reroll, then that can be very strong. If not, it's not going to be as strong. Now you can take this if you're not rerolling, but it's just not going to be as effective. Okay, endurance training. Your champions permanently gain 15 health every time they kill an enemy. Champions start with 100 bonus health. Same idea, better if you're rerolling, but you can take it whenever you like. You're going to be a little bit more effective on frontline carry builds because they scale a little bit better with bonus health. And that sort of thing. Okay, escort quest. Gain a training dummy. Each round if it survives, gain 2 gold. This one's really awkward, but you can take it if like your board is really, if you have a really strong board and you can fucking put your target dummy on your backline to protect your backline carries. And so if you're slamming people in the early game, it will survive a lot of times. And then if it doesn't survive, hey, you have a lot of extra health added to your board. So it's a little weird. I haven't really got to test this one a lot, but I think it's best if you're really strong. Yeah, you don't want to take it if you're weak. Okay. All right, frequent flyer. After you refresh your shops 15 times, your refreshes cost 1 for the rest of the game. So this is going to be most effective if you are rerolling. But it can generally be fun. Okay, gain a Titan's Resolve, Gargantuan Resolve. Gain a Titan's Resolve. Your Titan's Resolve can stack to 40 instead of 25. I think it's actually 35, not 40. I think that was changed. So this is going to be most effective if A, you already have a Titan's Resolve built, because then you can get a second one. I took this on a Swain build that I played, and I put 2 Titan's Resolve on them. It was very cool. So A, if you have that, or 2, if you intend on playing a frontline carry like a Garen, like a Swain, like a Yasuo, can be very, very, very strong. A little bit less effective if you intend on playing a backline carry. Doesn't mean you can't, but it's going to be better on the frontline carries. Okay, Gifts from the Fallen. Your units gain 6... they gain a bunch of stats, okay? When one of your units dies, all your units gain these stats again. So just think about if your unit can effectively use these stats. I don't personally like this augment too much, but like someone like Aphelios probably could use this really well. Someone like Zarya, I think it's slightly better on 80 units. They have a little bit better dual scaling. Like, who cares if my Lux has extra AD? Who cares, man? So yeah. Okay, Glacial Breeze. When Freljord strike. Okay, that's just a Freljord thing. Okay. Harmesis, already talked about. Haunted Shell, the Shadow Isles, so take it if you're playing Shadow Isles. Already talked about this one. Idealism, gain a Hand of Justice. Champions with a Hand of Justice deal 25% increased damage. This one is generally fine to take, especially if you want to build a Hand of Justice, or if you already have a Hand of Justice, can be very powerful. I have not tried this one out, but I've seen other people use it. It seems pretty strong, man, because Hand of Justice is a good item, and the problem with Hand of Justice is it kind of means your damage is going to be a little bit low, but man... pretty good, man. Okay, impromptu inventions. At the start of combat, components on your champions turn into full items for the rest of combat. I've never used this one. It seems a little weird. I mean, yeah. I don't have a lot of input on it. I like completing my items. It can be really good if you have, like, I think it's probably going to be a little bit better in a vertical, because you can just put your leftover items, like let's say playing 6 Sork, you know, you could just put a rod on your Vel'Koz and it'll turn into a Jeweled Gauntlet. That's pretty cool. Like, you're carrying a Lux, you don't have, you know, and you're playing a strict vertical. So I think it's better when you're playing verticals, but I don't know. It's a little weird. Okay, Indomitable Will. When your units score a takedown, they shed all negative effects and become immune to crowd control for 6 seconds. This is fine to take, especially if you have a very high damage build. It's going to be slightly more effective on frontline carries like Yasuo, because then you don't have to build a QSS on Yasuo, which is one of his best items. So better on frontline units, but generally it's going to be fine. Oh, man, I need this tea to fuel me, guys. We are talking a lot. It's all good. I love making these videos. In Infusion, your team restores 15 mana every 5 seconds. So this is generally good in every single comp. Gonna be good, guys. Gaining meta is great. A little bit more effective in AP comps because they stack their mana a little bit slower. You know, someone like Aphelios is going to be building up his mana really fast. You have a Rage Bone on him, he's, you know, and he doesn't, like, his value isn't necessarily from his cast, it's more from his auto attack. So a little bit better if you're playing like a lot of legendaries and all of items. Like someone like Senna would benefit a lot from this, especially if you can't afford to put items on her. She gets that cast really early in the fight. Someone like Ari, he needs a big cast to get off. So, all right. Jewel Lotus, already talked about that one. Cool. Know your enemy at the first. After the first enemy dies each round, your units deal 25% increased damage. This one is just generally fine to take, especially if you feel like you need extra damage on your comp. I like this one. Okay, Last Stand. The first time you would be eliminated or reduced in 1 health, instead remain alive. After this effect triggers, your units permanently gain a bunch of stats. This is going to be great if you're already low HP. So you don't want to take this if you're really far ahead. If you're really far ahead and you plan on staying ahead, then don't take this one. You're just going to make your board weaker by taking this, and it's not going to be good. If you're in a spot where you're pretty low health and you just spiked your board and you're feeling a little like, I might die soon, then take this one. It can give you an extra life and then can really spike your board even more powerful after you go into the Last Stand. So that's pretty much the best time to take it. Take it if you're low health, or take it if you plan on being weak on this next stage and getting low. Like let's say you're trying to do a Soju special and you're going to play a weak stage 4 and maybe in an early part of a weak stage 5 to get to a level 9 board. This can buy you an extra round, an extra life, and when you do spike on that legendary, that 4-cost board, it can make it even that much more powerful. A library card, Legend. This is Earth's, I guess. Gain Atoma traits and component anvil. So again, same idea. Take it if you are playing. It's going to be better if you're going to intend on playing a vertical, or if you want to try some wacky stuff, or there's like specific tomes that are very powerful on a unit. I can't think of anything specifically. Think about in the past though, like Olaf, Assassin Olaf. That's like so. Like Assassin Olaf is so different than regular Olaf, so that would be like a good time to take it. So if there's units like that who have traits like that exist, I'm just not sure about them right now. Okay, long distance path. Already talked about it. Loving in Invocation. Oh, this is just take if you're playing Invokers. If you take this, you want to play vertical Invokers. I've played this a lot. Invokers are good. Magic Wand, gain a needlessly large rod. Your units gain 20% ability power. Very cool. So this is going to be good in AP comp. So like Invokers, Sorks, that sort of thing. Mana Burn, gain a Shroud of Stillness. After all enemies take 2% maximum health as true damage each second until the first time they cast their spell. So this is generally going to be a good augment. You're going to have to move your Shroud all the time. Shroud's one of the best late game items in the game. Don't take this early on in the game. I don't think it can be offered early on in the game, but if it can, don't take it early in the game. Okay, Martyr. Whenever one of your units dies, all allies heal for 15% maximum health. Generally a fine augment to take, especially effective if you don't have healing in your build already. If you already have healing on your backline carries, it's going to be a lot less effective. In match fixing, after losing your combat, gain 2 gold. Every 5 losses, gain a random item component. Oh yeah, baby. So take this if you want to lose streak or if you intend on being weak. So like for example, I like to play a strong early game if I can. So like I could still take this as like my second augment. If I played a strong early game and then I get offered this, I go, okay, I'll just be weak on stage 3, weak on stage 4, and then I'll spike really hard on stage 5. So take it early game if you intend on lose streaking, or if you get it mid game or whatever, and you intend on kind of playing more for a late game comp, then that can be a good time to take it. Medium in shopping, champions appear in the next 3 slots of your shop as if they are 1 level higher. So take this if you got a roll, boy, and you need something to spike. So like, let's say you're on level 7 and you really need some 4 costs. 4 costs are really going to spike your comp, then take it. Or same idea if you're, level 8 and you really want to take this so that you can get the offer some legendary units. Can be very good. I don't like this augment, but it can be good in that. Metabolic Accelerator, Legend. This is the Pingu one as well. Your tactician moves faster and heals 2 health after a PvP round. This is just the better version of the Tiny Titans. The reason why it's the better version is because it doesn't make you have this enormous amount of immediate HP, which can help you to be able to still get your carousel items. Like you're not necessarily going to be the highest health in the lobby, but you're pretty much guaranteed to be the highest health in the lobby if you take Tiny Titans. So it's the better version of that. Typically, when you take this one, you want to play Lost Streak. Because you want to still get, because you can, if you play Lost Streak, you can gain a lot of gold and you can still get good item components and still be healthy. You're going to lose a lot of health early, but once you spike your board, you'll gain your health back, right? So you get the best of both worlds. Now, if you take this and you win streak, hey man, who cares? You win. You're probably guaranteed top 4, but it's just not. That's not the most effective way to use it. So I don't like taking this augment because I like to play a strong early game. Okay, Morning Light, the Bastions, multicaster. Not today, boy. Gain an Edge of Night. Allies holding an Edge of Night gain 35% attack speed. So this is great if you already have an Edge of Night built. Or if you're playing a lot of frontline carries, Edge of Knight's a little bit better on frontline carries like Yasuo, Garen, Darius, that sort of thing. I took this one last night when I was playing a Darius. I call the comp Kai'Sa's Jugs because it's Kai'Sa carry with Juggernaut frontline. I took this last night because I already had an Edge of Night built on my Darius, who is one of my side carries, and I just took it and I put an Edge of Night on Kai'Sa. Gives her a bunch of attack speed now because of this, and Kai'Sa can get herself into trouble when she... Yeah, sometimes she'll dash away to enemies into other enemies. And so, yeah, so that was like a really good situation to take it. Okay, Overcharge, Mana Front. Combat start your Sorks Soak. Take it if you're playing Sorks. Okay, Pandora's Items. We already kind of talked about this one, but it's a little bit different. Gain a 1 random item component. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's the same as the other one. Take it if you want guaranteed items. That thing. Okay, Patient Study, Legend 2. After player combat, gain 2 XP if you won, 4 XP if you lost. I think this is a Aurelian Souls. You can now reach level 10. So this one is generally fine to take, but just keep in mind if you're taking a gold Econ Augment, you will not have a gold combat augment. Other people are going to take that. So typically when you take this, you want to play for Lost Streak into like a big push to a big like level 9 board or early level 8 board or you might get the level 10, but that's usually pretty hard to do. So that's typically how you want to play it. But if you end up being strong anyways, hey, we're getting 2 extra XP for a round. You're probably guaranteed top 4. So typically want to play for a Lost Streak, but if you win, hey, who cares? It's all good, man. It's all good, man. All right, Perfect Repetition. Oh, that's a multicaster one. Petricide. This is for Demacians. Okay, Portable Forge Legend. Open up an armory. Choose one of 3 unique Ornn items. Take it if you want to play Ornn items. Very cool, guys. This is easier to take if you don't have 3 items committed on anybody yet. So what I mean by that, like let's say you have a 2-item tank, a 2-item carry, then this would be a good time to take it. But if you have a 3-item carry and you don't have another side carry you want to play in your build yet, and you open it up and you get offered 3 carry items, you could be like, it can be not good. So it's more effective if you don't have 3 committed items on your tank or your carry already, because you get the best of both worlds. Pumping up. This is Master Yi's. Your units gain 5% attack speed. Yeah. We already know about this one. Okay. Rapid Incubation. This is a Void one. Ravenous Hunter. This is a Warwick one. Return on investment after you have refreshed your shops 25 times. Gain a Tactician's Crown. That's 50 gold you have to roll. But if you're about to do a roll down, or if you're playing a reroll build, take this. I take this. So yeah, if you're going to reroll, then it's good. I also like to take this if I'm really far ahead and I feel like, okay, I'll just lose the next 5 rounds or something. I might have 90 health. Okay, I'll just lose the next 5 rounds, get 100 gold, go 8, roll it down, make a strong board, get a tack crown, and we now have a prismatic. A Tactician's Crown is a prismatic. So I like to take this if I'm really far ahead or if I'm rerolling. Rich Get Richer, gain 20 gold. Richer plus. Gain 20 gold. Your maximum interest is increased to 7. These shouldn't be in the same tier. I believe they're in different tiers, actually, but because they're the same augment. But take this if you intend on playing a weak early game, and then you just want to maximize this threshold. Usually, there's 2 ways you can play this out. You can get a lot of econ early. You don't want to take this mid game usually, unless you're really powerful and have a lot of gold, like you're just high rolling out of your ass. You only want to take this at the beginning of the game, unless you're high rolling out of your ass. So generally when you take this, there's 2 ways to play it. You can just make a lot of econ and then go like really fast 7 on stage 3 and then make a really strong board and then econ back up. That's a way to play it. Another way to play it is you go full risk and you just go really early level 8 with really low HP. So this is going to be effective if you are really good at making strong in-game boards, or if like the meta is to go fast 8, that sort of thing. I don't like taking this augment because again, it just doesn't really fit my playstyle. This is a Cassidon one. Cool. I want to read this one. I've never seen this one. Your strongest Cassidon gains 20 AP and blinks to the first enemy within 3. Wow, that's cool. That's pretty cool. And his mana cost is reduced. That's pretty cool. I'll have to try that one out. Okay. Salvageman, gain a random completed item now and a component after 7 player combats. Selling items break apart their full items into components, excluding Tactician's Crown. So generally, this one's going to be fine to take, especially if you want extra items. You can get very lost in the sauce, so this is not one I recommend for beginners, because the most effective way to use this one is to just slam the strongest items for your current board and not think about your in-game board. Just slam the best items you can, and then when you make an in-game board, you can really roll for whatever. And so typically when you take this, you want to roll for whatever is the strongest meta board. I mean, you play what you hit, but like, let's say like a Phelios is just, it's just the best comp. It's just like, we're in a really unbalanced patch. It's just the best comp. Well, you could slam AP items, and then you could probably finagle it into just getting Aphelios items anyways, once you sell, because the item components break apart. But yeah, I do not recommend this one to beginners. You get very lost in the sauce. And I'm someone who's very good at like slamming items and making a board the best of what I can. I'm really good at that, and I still get so lost. Okay, scoped weapons. Your units at the start of combat in the back 2 rows gain 2 attack range and 12% attack speed. This can be fine in any build, but I only take this if I want to carry a frontline DPS. So I don't know, someone like Darius can be really good with this. I was trying to think some other ones. I just don't think this Augment's very good this set, because like Yasuo dashes into them. So even if you have it on Yasuo, he dashes in. It can be good on Gwen. Like Urgot, he dashes in anyways. So it's like, I don't like this Augment very much. But it's good on tanks, frontline DPSs, that sort of things. It could be good on Cassante. That'd be cool, right? He gets his first cast without taking damage for free. Nasus, that's another good one. Okay, Sentinel Spirit. This is Ionians. Shadow Isles Crest. It's there. I gotta pour some tea, guys. Got my French press here. Oh yeah, I need some liquids. I need some fluids in my mouth. I'm talking too long. Oh yeah, baby. All right. Shimmering. This is Pilto Over. Okay, shoplifting. After your first shop refresh each turn, gain the highest cost champion for free. Wait, hold on. Let me read that again. After your first shop refresh each turn, gain the highest cost champion for free. Huh? Honestly, guys, I've never seen this one before. I don't really know how to interpret that. I would have to play test that one, just being real. Okay, these are Shuriman ones. Silver ticket. Each time your shop is refreshed, you have a 30% chance to gain a free refresh. So this one's fine all the time, because this will work on your regular refresh. Like when you go to a new round, it refreshes. Generally can be fine to take, but it's going to be a little bit more effective when you're rerolling. Okay. But always keep in mind when you're taking an augment like this, like I would consider this an econ augment, always consider when you're taking econ augment, the opportunity cost that you will not have a combat augment when you're taking it. So just keep that in mind. Okay. This is Slayer ones. Sleight of hand, gain a Thieves Gloves. Your allies holding Thieves Gloves gain 30% attack speed. So this is better the earlier you take it into the game, because then you can plan on building Thieves Gloves, especially if you have some gloves on your bench already. Obviously, super effective if you have a Thieves Gloves already built. I think augments like these are a little bit better when you're playing verticals, because essentially you're just getting extra items on units that have a lot of synergies active. So if you're playing like 6 Sorks and you have Vel'Koz who can be a good contributor to your team, but you probably don't have items to give him, put it on him. Maybe you hit your RE late game and you don't have items to put on her because you have 3 Atom Lux. Then yeah, it can be good right there. So those are some of the best circumstances to use it. We already talked about social distancing. Spoils of War Legend. This is Draven's. Again, we already talked about that one. Stars Are Born. The first tier 1 unit and tier 2 unit you buy are upgraded to 2 stars. This is Caitlyn's Legend. So this is going to be offered at the beginning of the game. Just make sure when you use this one, you buy units that are congruent with each other. So like, maybe you're playing, I don't know, Zons or something. Shurimas. Okay, that's another one. I was trying to think off the dome. You buy the Cassio, you get the free 2-star, and then you buy the Talia, you get the free 2-star, right? That can be very good, make you powerful in the early game. It also can be very effective if you intend on re-rolling. So if you already have a 2-star Cassio, you buy the 2-star Cassio, you now have 6 copies of your Cassio. You're so close to your 3-star already. So it can be really good if you're re-rolling. Also, you can just use it to gain a lot of instant power for the early game. Yeah. Anyways, this is a Targon one. Your team counts as having an additional strategist, gain a Swain. Strategist is one of the best traits in the game. That's the only reason why I'm talking about this. It's one of the best traits in the game. More effective if you're going to be playing an AP comp, and you intend on playing some strategists. But you can play strategist you should be playing Jarvan in almost every single build. Okay, that's a Deadeye one. Another strategist one. units for each of the traits you have active, doubled when you field a strategist. So this is generally fine to always say because you're almost always going to play strategist. A little bit more effective than AP comps. The Baus that sets. 3's a crowd. Your units gain 75 health for each 3-cost unit you field. They're going to be really good if you're playing a reroll 3-cost comp. So like, let's say you're playing like reroll Noxus. You're going to be playing like young Dario. You know, you're going to be this is probably the best comp. If you're playing reroll Noxus, Juggernauts, Rogues. You're going to play Dario, Garen, Katarina, and Echo. Pretty good. Very good. So only do it in that circumstance if you're rerolling 3-cost. Okay, 3's company. Gain 4 random tier 3 champions. You get offered this at the beginning of the game. Typically, when you take this, you just need to be able to be comfortable playing around a bunch of different 3-cost, and that can be very good. So especially this is going to be good if the meta is 3-cost meta. So like if Darius is just really strong on that patch, especially early game, he's just so strong. Then you know, maybe there's a few of them that are really strong. Like Darius, Katarina, Garen, they're all real strong. Then take it. You know, but it is a little bit of a gamble. Worst case scenario, you have to sell for 12 gold. And yeah, you don't want to do that. Okay, Titanic Strength, that's for bruisers, tons of stats. This one is generally fine to take. I take this one sometimes. I only take this one if I have to. You know, if I have nothing better. This is a Noxian one. Okay, Trade Sector Legend, gain a free shop refresh every turn. This one is generally feels pretty good. Can help you get free upgrades, can help you not have to roll down. The way you typically want to use this is you don't want to be... There's 2 ways you can use this. You can use this when you're rerolling, because that can be nice. I don't think it's good for rerolling. I think that's a bait. I think you ruin your econ, especially on 1-cost rerolls, but it can be good on 2 and 3-cost rerolls, I think. So you can use it to reroll to save you from having to roll as much, but I think it's bait for 1-cost rerolls, so just you know. I think it's a noob trap. But the other way you can use it is to just, if you're really comfortable just playing around 2-starred units and kind of making a flex board as you go, it can save you from having to roll like in the mid game. You can just like play around, like you can get your free like 2-star Garen or something like that and just play around him, right? It can be a little bit easier to do that. But always keep in mind when you take an Econ Augment, you are down a combat augment, so just keep that in mind. Transfusion, this is Vlad's, we already talked about it. 2 healthy. Your units gain 60 health for each 2-cost unit you field. So same idea if you want to reroll a 2-cost comp, you know, like you're rerolling like Warwick comp or something like that. You like Warwick and Set, you know, like that can be good. Okay, Unburdened. Your units without items gain 55% attack speed. So going to be great if you don't have a lot of item slam, especially if you have a lot of backline units in your comp that don't have items. It can be very good. Unified Resistance. We already talked about that one. Unstable, that's for Yordles. Vampiric Blades. This is for Rogues. Void. Winds of War. This is Galio's Augment. Gain a recurve bow. Your units gain 20% attack speed. So this is generally going to be fine. Going to be a little bit better in AD comps, but attack speed is always good on backline units. Gain a BF sword. Your units gain 20% attack damage. Take this if you intend on carrying an AD carry. That's pretty much it. And then Zon Crest right there. All right, we're on the tier 3, baby. We're doing it. We are doing the thing, guys. We're almost done. Try to keep this video under an hour. I don't think that I'll achieve that. Okay, gain 2 Toma traits. This is Earths, right? So take this if you feel really comfortable playing around tomes. I do not recommend this one for beginners because you can get very lost in the sauce unless you are playing a strict vertical and you feel comfortable taking the risk. Okay, that's for Bastions. Binary airdrop. Your champions equipped with 2 items temporarily gain a random completed item at the start of combat. Gain 1 random item component. This one is really effective if you're playing with a lot of items. So let's say you like there's just extra items on, like you're playing like Scuttle Puddle or something. There's a bunch of extra items. So that's going to be great in that situation. Or you're taking like Ezreal's augments. You have a lot of extra item components, and you don't have 3 items committed on anybody yet. If you have 3 items committed on a unit that you're going to be playing the whole game, then that's not going to be good. To take this augment, it's very powerful if you only have 2 items committed and you have extra items. That's the best case scenario. That's the only time I ever take it. Yeah. Okay. Birthday present. Gain a 2-star champion every time you level up. The champion's tier is your level -4. I have not taken this augment in a long time, but this is going to be very good if you're pushing levels and you feel comfortable playing around whatever unit you 2-star. So there we go. So what this means is like once you get level 8, you'll get a random 4 cost, right? Once you get level 9, you'll get a random 5 cost, right? 2-star unit. So you just need to be playing very aggressive and pushing levels and be comfortable playing around those things. A little bit risky taking this one. Blinding speed, gaining Gwinsu's and a rapid fire cannon. So take this if you want those items, and it's going to be effective for your board. Not really much else to say about that. Bruiser Crown, we already know about that one. Built Diff, already know about that one. Buried Treasures. This is Ezreal's tier 3, so you get 5 extra components. So, take this if you want the extra components. I play Ezreal. That's my main legend. I only take this if I'm not offered something better. This is always good, especially if you feel really comfortable playing with a lot of items and building a lot of... It's better if you are comfortable playing flex, because you'll have to slam your items to get this power, right? If you're not comfortable playing a bunch of different comps, then I would not take this one. And again, I don't look to take this one. I take this one if my other 2 prismatics, if I don't like them. Okay, Cruel Pact. Buying XP costs 6 health instead of gold. Heal 3 health before each player combat. Now, there's very specific ways that you can really optimize this. I'll be honest, I've never taken Cruel Pact in my life. It's been in the game for a while, and I've never taken it, so I don't have the deep insight on the best way to do it. But if you take Cruel Pact, you want to play really, really aggressive. That's all I do know about that, and you want to build as strong of board as you can. But you always run the risk that you can instantly die at the beginning of the game. So just be aware this is very risky. And it is a prismatic, so other people will have prismatics. And they can be stronger than you. So just keep that in mind. Okay, Cybernetic Bulk. We already talked about that. We already talked about these. We already talked about these. Cool thing about going to the prismatics is a lot of them are repeats, so we don't have to talk about them. Endless Horde. Gain a team size equal to half your... What? Gain team size equal to half your level. Your units can only hold 1 item. What? So if you're level 8, you'll get 4 extra team size, but your units are going to suck. I've never taken this one. That sounds wild, bro. Is this still in the game? That's wild. Okay. Gain team size equal to half your level. Gain 1 item, can hold 12 gold. Okay, I don't know why these are in the same tier. Maybe they're offered at different times in the game. That's probably what it is. This sounds buck wild. What the hell? Okay, final reserves. The first time you would be eliminated or reduced to 1 health, instead remain alive, so it's similar to Last Stand. After this effect triggers, gain 80 XP and 25 gold. So if you want to pull a Soju special, this is the augment. This is Soju's augment, guys. So if you want to go level 9, go level 10. This is what it is. Okay, that's for Freljord. This one's always good. Freljord's so good, guys. Gifts from above. At the start of combat, your champions with the least items equipped gain 5 temporary completed items. I like taking this. It's best effective if you're playing a vertical, like 6 Orcs. Again, I'll just always give that as an example because 6 Orcs is a really good vertical. Or 6 Invokers is another good vertical. And you don't have extra items to slam. So you're playing 6 Invokers, you only have items on Karma and Lysandra. Well, now you can have items on Rise and Soraka and all, your other good units, Galio, that sort of thing. So it can be really nice when you're playing verticals. I think that's most effective. Or if you're playing like a legendary comp where you have a lot of legendary units, but you don't have items to give them, it can be great in that situation. A golden ticket. Each time your shop is refreshed, you have a 50% chance to gain a free refresh. This one is generally fine to take, but remember, anytime you take an Econ augment, you are down a combat augment, and it is prismatic. So I think it is most effective when you're rerolling, can save you a lot of gold. But I don't like this one. Okay. Arm Assist, we already talked about that. Hedge Fund Plus, your interest does have a cap. The cap is 100. The cap is 10 gold, like the 100 threshold. Gain 30 gold. My God. So take this if you want to pull a Soju special. Go fast 8, fast 9, fast 10 if that's in your if that's allowed for you. That's when you want to take Hedge Fund. Okay, you're gonna be weak. You got to make a really strong board. Okay, high end sector. Each round gain a free shop refresh. And 3 gold. That sounds like trash. Oh, but it says high end. So it's probably I think this text is incorrect. So it's probably you have the high end shop, like you have a shop above. So you're gonna have to make a very strong board because again, down a combat augment. Okay. Oh, and Impenetrable Bulwark, gain a Bramble Vest and a Dequal. Take this if you don't have any tank items. You need tank items. So you have way too many carry items. You're like, oh no, I have no tank items. And you get offered this, saved, I'm blessed by the RNG gods. It didn't take it then. We already talked about these. Level up, when you buy XP, gain 3 additional, gain 11 immediately, and you can now reach level 10. This is more effective the earlier you can take it on in the game, but always remember, whenever you take a combat augment, or when you take this, you are down a prismatic combat augment. So you need to make a very, very strong board. Whenever you end up doing this. So Living Forge, gain a random Ornn artifact and then gain 1 every every 10 player combat. So if you live long enough in the game, you can gain 3 Ornn artifacts. So remember, the way I like to play around Ornn artifacts is I never commit 3 items to anybody. So I'll try not to commit 3 items until I get my second Ornn item. It's really hard to like sack for the 3rd item. So because again, when you get offered Ornn items, sometimes you'll just get offered 3 tank items and you already have a 3-item tank and you're just like, well, shit. Or you get offered a carry item, you already have your 3-item carry and you don't have an additional carry. Well, shit. So I think it's best effective if you don't commit your items. Don't commit all 3 of your items at least. Okay, Lucky Gloves. Thieves Gloves will always give your champions ideal items. Gain 2 Sparring Gloves. Fuck this. Don't ever take this shit. This shit's trash. Unless you already have a lot of Thieves Gloves. I think this augment is trash. Like sometimes it does not give you good items. Like they have a very loose definition of what ideal items is. March of Progress. Gain 2 XP now and bonus XP equal to your level at the start of every player combat round. You can no longer use gold to level up. They changed this a little bit. This used to not be this way. Okay, so take this early on in the game. I think it can only be offered at the beginning of the game. Keep in mind, you are taking an Econ Augment. You're going to have to build a very strong board. Usually, you want to play really aggressive when you take this because you'll be higher level than everyone else. So you want to commit your items, play around 2 stars, that sort of thing. Because yeah, you're gonna hit level 8 later than other people. You'll hit early level 7, but you'll hit a later level 8. So just keep that in mind. These are trait specific. Overwhelming Force, gain a Deathblade and Infinity Edge. So take this if you plan on playing an AD carry, or if you've committed only tank items and you're like, oh man, I need some carry items, give me direction. Boom, free direction right there. Okay, Pandora's Box Legend, gain a random Radiant item. This is TFs. At the start of each round, items on your bench are randomized. So if you want to play around a Radiant item and you're playing and you want to get those guaranteed items, this one can be very good. Yeah. Okay, Parting Gifts. When a unit dies, they pass a temporary copy of one of their items to the nearest ally with open slots. Shield them for 35% maximum health. Generally, this can be fine. Most effective if you're playing like a vertical. If you're playing like a lot of the same trait. So, for example, if you're playing 4 Juggernauts and you don't have items for your Darius, but you have a 3-star Darius, and then when your Garen or whoever or Warwick dies who has tank items or whatever, and then they pass them over to your Darius, that can feel very good, right? I don't really like this one. I think it's a little hard to play around and is a little bit inconsistent though. I'm not hugely into it. Freaky Friday, gain an Infinity Force. After 7 player combats, gain a second Infinity Force. So play this if you plan on playing AD and you feel comfortable supporting 2 different AD carries because you will not be able to put this item on the same unit. So you're playing like, I don't know, Zons, right? You know, you can carry Urgod and Zeri, right? Freaky Friday Plus, gain Infinity Force. After 4 player combats, gain a second Infinity Force. So you just get this offered later on in the game. We're not going to talk about this. Already talked about this one. Radiant Relics. Open an armory and choose 1 of 5 unique Radiant items. So take it if you like playing around Radiant items. Same idea as Ornn. It's a little bit better if you don't have 3 committed items on your carry or tank, because sometimes you can get fucked by RNG and only get offered tank items when you need a carry item, that sort of thing. All right. No, we already know that one. Roll the dice, gain a Radiant Thieves Glove. So this, I think, is best if you are playing, again, like a comp where you have a lot of synergies active on strong units, but you don't have items to give them because you're playing a different build. Like, you know, always give the Juggernaut example. You're playing Reroll Juggernauts. You have a 3-star Darius, no items. Boom. Now he has Radiant items. He can be very strong. Okay. Not gonna talk about those ones. Already talked about that one. Already no. This is Draven's one. Sucks. Starter kit, legend. This is Caitlyn's. Gain a tier 4 champion tier 4 champion, an item they can use, and a 2-star tier 1 champion that shares a trait with them. At the next 2 stages, it's not like this anymore. It's the next stage. You'll gain the tier 4 champion again. It is not in the next 2 stages. So you will get 2, or at least at the time we make this video. So like, for example, you'll get like a Kaisa and Kaisa and a Samira 2-star. A Kaisa 1, a Samira 2, right? You can get those together, right? And then, so you get that at 2-1. At 3-1, you'll get another Kaisa. So typically when you play this, you wanna go fast 7 as early as possible and just send it to 2-star your carry. So you wanna have gold to roll, and you can almost guarantee you get your carry. If you get Mortdogged and you don't get your 2-star carry, then you got Mortdogged. Just know, like, it's a little risky, but you do get a lot of guaranteed power in the early game, and you probably are going to get guaranteed power at level 7, which is going to feel very strong for you. This one's a little weird. I don't know. I've tested it a little bit. I'm not sold on it. Okay. Tactician's tools gain 2 spatulas. So essentially you can build a fawn or you can build 2 emblems. Very good. So if you need that and you think it's going to power your board, it's generally always good. I mean, having a fawn is great. Think fast. Shop refreshes are free until the end of this round. Traits and other augments do not benefit from these shops. Gain 3 gold. So if you're about to send it, you're about to roll down, like for a reroll build or whatever, or you're about to roll down, then do it. But keep in mind, you need to make a strong board because you are down a combat augment. Okay, Tiniest Titan. It's legend. Your tactician is small and speedy and heals 2 after a PvP round and grants 2 gold per round. It's an econ augment. You're gonna have to make a strong board, guys. You can take this to get top 4. It's gonna be really hard to first place with this augment unless you can like go fast 9 and build a really powerful board. So just be aware of that. We already talked about that one. Unleashed Arena, gain a Rabadons, Death Cap, and a Jeweled Gauntlet. So if you play AP or you only have tank items and need direction, boom, I'm playing AP. There we go. Not gonna talk about that one. Wandering Trainer, gain a training dummy. It has 3 random emblems equipped. I've seen people play this, so it seems pretty strong. So just play it on your board, and then whatever emblems you get on it, you need to play around those emblems, or it's not effective. So if you're comfortable playing a pretty flexible board, then take this. Wellness Trust. I don't necessarily like this, but I have seen some other people do well with it. Okay, Wellness Trust. Round start, gain 3 gold. If you have at least 50 gold, your tactician heals 3 gold. So you would want to take this if you already have 50 gold. You would not take it to get to 50 gold. I don't know. I don't like this one. I do not like this one. I remember anytime you take in, I've said this 100 times in this video and I'll say it 101 times. Anytime you take an econ augment, you are down a combat augment on the prismatic tier. So just keep that in mind. So you need to make some strong boards. Okay. What the Forge? All completed items you own or received are reforged into random Ornn artifacts. Excluding these items, units gain 100 health per equipped artifact. I take this one a lot. I think it's really fun. I think it's a slightly better in verticals, but it's good in all comps. This one's fun. This one's really fun. It can be good. It can be weak. You're playing the RNG game a little bit. And then Zonkron's the last one. All right, guys, that is all the augments. This may have not been every single augment because sometimes these stat websites don't necessarily have all of them, but we're doing our best here. And some of the numbers on here may be changed. And also to keep in mind, some of these get moved around in tiers. So like maybe Adrenaline Rush will be moved to tier 3 because it's like performing super well in the data and that sort of thing. So anyways, guys, that is it. An hour-long one. Like always, I don't look forward to filming these ones if I'm being honest, because I just have to talk forever. But I know they're really helpful to you guys, and I do love helping you guys. If you guys like this video, then if you want to support me, the best way you can support me is subscribing to this channel and then following me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, guys. I stream a lot, but nobody watches my stream. I mean, some people watch my stream, but I really want to grow my stream, guys. I really want to grow my stream. I love streaming. And so I would love to see you guys on Twitch. I'll leave a link down below. And if you guys want more guides, just go to my channel. I'll leave some in the end card here, but just go to my channel. There's a whole section for guides. I've got loads of good stuff for you guys for preseason and all that good stuff. So anyways, that's it. Appreciate you guys, and good luck climbing. I'll see you on the next one.